Just as Monica, I really am quite sad not to be amongst you today. I wanted to just share with you a few points via a PowerPoint if that would work. So I will start sharing my screen and just take you through a few of the um, some of the data that we follow at the OECD. And if you can just give me just a word that you can see the screen, I'll continue.
We can see.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thanks a lot. So I just wanted to take you through first the bit of the context in which we find ourselves. And I think, sort of the interest in university degrees seems to have to decrease in the times of mistrust and rising tuition fees. And that's something that we see here in this chart on the left, where you see what is called the trust gap, and really increasing over the past years between the public and the key institutions, sort of the business, the media, government, and non-governmental institutions. At the same time, if we look at one particular country, and I didn't have data on Cyprus here, is that more than half of the Americans now question the value of a university degree. That's not unrelated to the high tuition costs that have increased exponentially, really, in the past years. And when you look as well in comparison to the earnings of young workers. So I think we find ourselves in a bit of a context when it comes to higher education in which it's no longer a given that a university degree is the right path in the eyes of everyone. This is also happening within the context of the mega trends that are also changing the skills needs that are required. So we're of course, in most of the OECD countries, we have aging societies. About a quarter of the population is expected to be over 65 by 2050 in a large number of the OECD countries. So that really has an implication both on the kind of services that will be required to attend to that population, but also the longer time that the young workers now entering the job market will have to continue working. Of course, we're in a context of economic instability, needless to say, in terms of course, the contraction that happened post-COVID, but also now with the rising inflation rates and sort of global economic decline that is also very much perceived by people. And then we have at the same time, of course, some opportunities and also fear creation sort of trends as well. Of course, the two main ones, the green transition, where you can see an expectation of green jobs, of course, coming, but that also has an implication on upskilling and reskilling, and really see that quite a lot of some of these jobs also have a gender implication. Of course, when it comes to green tasks jobs, there's quite a lot to be done to really be a little bit more inclusive of women in particular. And of course, digitalization, not even mentioning AI, where we consider at the OECD at least that about 30% of the jobs are at high risk of automation, and AI also having quite a lot of potential impact on job markets and the skills required. And of course, the COVID-19 crisis has accelerated some of these trends. Just looking a little bit at what that means in terms of skills it's really talking more of skills rather than specific occupations. And so I just have some data when it comes to Cyprus in particular, and you can see some of the skills imbalances, in particular ones related to production technology, knowledge, and digital skills, but also some surpluses when it comes to training and education. And continuing as well, of course, when you look at the skills themselves, motivation and commitment, self-engagement, rigor, a lot of the skills that also Monica was talking about are very much in need and are not equally spread among countries. Now, one of the areas where we are seeing quite an engagement, of course, is in vocational programs. And interestingly, in the past years, the enrollment has increased in these countries for a number of reasons. The school to work transition is much more evident for young people when it comes to vocational education and training. The earnings are quite attractive, the job retention as well, the ease of finding a job. And that's something that we also have to look into, and being more important as well when it comes to upskilling and reskilling, but also in the context of the participation in adult learning. And what we see is that despite some opportunities being available, we still have a large number of adults who are not participating in adult learning, even if they have the opportunity. There are a number of stumbling blocks to that, of course, when it comes to flexibility, relevance, and time available, but still there's quite a lot that we need to do in that area. And so I'll just finish off with maybe sort of, in my view, a couple of areas where I think we could really look into is really trying to improve the labor market relevance of the programs that are made available, improving the access, the flexibility, the career guidance, and the inclusiveness as well of the programs that we look into. And of course, looking into establishing an effective governance as well, particularly when it comes to quality assurance of a lot of the programs that are available. And so with that, thank you very much, and I'll stop sharing. Thank you.